Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I'm very happy to have the guest with me that I have today. She is someone that brings a lot of joy to the world and actually broadcasts her message as a happiness coach, helping people find the happy in their lives. So, Carla Maree is a sought-after happiness coach, #1 best-selling author, entrepreneur, yoga instructor, podcast host, and professional speaker who is on a mission to help people live a happier life. Through life experience, she has learned that happiness isn't guaranteed, but it's something we can consciously choose and create if we are taught the right tools. This is what she loves to help us do. We only get one chance at life, so we need to make it our best chance. It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur. Carla is determined to help as many people as she can to smile, laugh, and love more. Welcome to the show, Carla.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. And
Yes.
so nice to be here. And you're in California, the sunny state. I love that.
Yeah, it is sunny today. It's been raining the last couple of days, but that's nice. So tell us a little bit about how you found your way to being a happiness coach.
It's been like sort of nothing that just happened like this. I would say that it's been more of a journey. And for a long time, I still get caught up in that, definitely, but I was a pusher. I wanted to be this, wanted to do this, wanted to be a famous actress. You know, I had all these things that I wanted to do. And I was always pushing, pushing my body, pushing myself for goals. And I landed up opening my own business and it was great. I traveled the world for 4 years and I came back to Australia and I opened up my own businesses. And when I was opening up the businesses, I remember saying to myself that, I was only going to do things that made me happy. But then like a lot of us, I got caught in the daily grind. And I didn't even realize that I was so stuck in my own way, so stuck in that routine. The alarm goes off, I have a quick shot of coffee, and then I go to the gym, maybe to get a bit of a workout in, to then go and sit at my office to do my job, to then go home, to maybe walk my dog, to then have a quick dinner, go to sleep and do exactly the same thing the very next day. It's like Groundhog Day, but you're so caught up in it, you don't even realize. And it's not that I wasn't happy. I just was just bland. I was just doing what a lot of people do, is just living unconsciously. And then one day I walked into a yoga class and I hated yoga at the time. You couldn't pay me to do a class and you couldn't pay me to meditate or anything like that. And I had an injury I used to run marathons, and my physio was saying, you need to do more stretching. And I was like, I hate stretching. But anyway, I dragged myself to this yoga class, and it was something the yoga teacher said about, we're laying in Savasana, and I hate Savasana normally. Like I used to hate Savasana because it was like, what do you mean we've got to be still? I don't like this. But the teacher said, it's now time to let go of, your monkey mind and all those voices telling you have to be someone, have to go somewhere, have to do something, and just time to, find your space, find your stillness. And if you don't think that you have a voice that's consistently telling you that, then that's your voice that's telling you that you don't have a voice. And I was like, oh my God, I have a voice. Like that was just for me. It wasn't, it just hit me in that moment. Like I was ready. And then I was like, okay, like I want to know more about my voice and how it is controlling me. And that was sort of the start of my own journey. And me leading into being a happiness coach has all come through my own life. So I started like, okay, what can I do to quieten my voice? What can I do to learn to find that stillness and space more? Started, yoga a lot, started meditating. Now I own a yoga school and I meditate like all day. No, not all day. I wish. No, every day. But and it was through my own experiment of my own life. Like, what can I do to make sure that every day I smile, I laugh, and I live intentionally? And and so then for me, following my own process, I wrote it all down. I journaled my way through it. I just felt this shift. It was like this, complete new person. And people were asking me, oh my God, you're so happy. You always got so much energy. Like, oh, Carla, we love you coming. You're like the life of the party. You're always on the dance floor. What is your magic pill? And then that was when people just kept asking me, and I got invited to speak at a few places about it. The yoga studio students were always wanting me to talk, talk my philosophy, because I was always talking throughout classes about different things. And that's sort of how it evolved. And then now, I've been doing it for quite a few years. And I love watching people it's like switch that light on.
Yeah. And I love that the realization came through Savasana, which you were very resistant to doing in the first place.
Oh, totally. I hated it. And meditation. My mum still can't believe that I sit and meditate and that I go on meditation retreat. She's like, because she was for years like sort of that yogi who was always trying to guide me into that, because I was that pusher, always pushing myself. And I was like, no, absolute way, but I still have to catch myself, because I can feel always that yang and the yin, but when you find that solitude, you find that space, it's pure bliss.
Yeah.
But actually one of my favorite things to do is when new people come to the yoga studio and you say Savasana and they lay down, they freak out. It's like, their eyes are looking around, they're like, what do you mean we have to be still? What do you mean? But then, like I always say, like it's about the second or third class, the penny drops. And then you just see them open up and then it's like, oh, I found it. That it's okay to be still and it's okay that the voice goes or whatever, but you don't have to get involved.
Yeah. And how often do we actually give ourselves that gift if we're not in a meditation practice or a yoga?
Oh, totally.
To just lay there and have nothing to do but be for a few moments.
And just not think for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. And to get so caught up in the push of life, we've got to do this, especially this time of year, it gets so hectic. People are rushing around to get Christmas and all that sorted. But we just need to slow down.
Yeah, definitely.
Flow down.
What are some of the other practices that you started implementing for people who maybe can't quiet that voice or haven't done a Shavasana or aren't called to meditation? What are some of the other practices that you sort of revealed to yourself to bring the joy through the monotony?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've got like a complete toolkit, and like yoga and meditation is only just one part of it, and that's my part, but everyone's different. That's what I love about us human beings, is we're all so eccentric and different. So one of the things I love to make people do is, well, the important question is to ask yourself if you are happy. Like truly ask yourself those hard questions, because a lot of people, we think we're happy. We're just doing we're doing that daily grind. Yeah, I do it. I'm happy going to work, But like, if you really ask yourself, is your soul singing? Like when you wake up, do you get excited about the work that you're doing, about, the partner that you're with the house that you live in? Like, is your life bringing you joy? And if it's not, then like, where is that pull, and what can we do about that? And you can't necessarily go and quit your job straight away, but we need to find moments in our day to add in those little spots of joy. So I love for people to write out like their daily schedule, that thing that most of us do most days. I get up, I meditate, I might go teach yoga, I might do a few clients, I'll go for a walk, you might go to work, you might have breakfast with your partner, whatever it is. So you write it all down. And then you go through and you start to highlight the things that actually you enjoy doing. Yes, I really do enjoy every day sitting down and having dinner at the dinner table with my partner and connecting, where once I know one of my clients, they were watching television whilst they ate dinner every night, and it wasn't really bringing her joy. We actually don't connect. We're just eating dinner and we're watching, something silly on the TV. So we shifted that, and now we sit down and they have dinner together, and now it's one of her highlights of the day. Every day, they get to connect. So it's just finding these little shifts, like what does bring you joy? Does running around, picking the kids up from school give you joy, or no? If not, then maybe like how can you do a partner share with someone else, like another mom or something like that? Find these moments to delegate and focus on what does bring us joy. But to focus on what does bring us joy, we have to know what doesn't bring us joy, so that we can start to, get those out of our life. So for me, for example, I don't really like cleaning the house. Like, it's not that I'm a messy person, but on a Sunday, I do not want to be mopping the floors, cleaning the oven. So I get a cleaner. And I can tell you that the day the cleaner comes, brings me joy every time. come home and the house is so nice. Oh, it's such a treat, you know? So there's all these little different things. I mean, Molly, what do you love to do that really brings you joy, that makes you smile from the inside out and you want to flap your wings?
I love to travel, and it's as simple as even driving somewhere far away. Which makes sense, which is why I live in a van, that I almost always wish my destination was just a little bit further because I'm not done with the driving to get there part yet, which is funny.
Yeah, that's funny because I'm much different. I love to travel, but I don't love the getting there so much, like the car rides, and that doesn't do it for me.
No, yeah. When I'm sitting and waiting for an airplane to board, that's like my most inspired and alive moments. I get my best from doing that. Yeah. But I love what you said. And I feel like that's important for us to simply take inventory of what's going on in our lives and look at what are all the pieces of the puzzle and which of those are already joyful and fun, and which of those they don't have to get swept under the rug. They don't have to necessarily all get delegated to someone else, but maybe there's a way that that thing can be more enjoyable for you and bring you more happiness doing the same task. For example, I have been cooking dinner a lot, or cooking breakfast and lunch and dinner a lot more, because I fell in love with somebody who lives in a house, and he lives with my best friend, and she has a husband, and everybody works full time, and there's a 2-year-old. And so I like to cook. I end up cooking some of the meals for the whole family, and often like cooking breakfast on the weekends for everyone. And I noticed that when I turn on music and dance in the kitchen while I'm cooking, it's an entirely different experience. And so now when I wake up on Sunday morning and I'm going to go in and start cooking the breakfast for the family, I put on the dance mix and dance my way through the kitchen, and everybody in the house is having so much more fun than just like who wants what and when are we eating and, you know, who needs coffee.
No, I absolutely love that. And making like something I've noticed within myself and a lot of my clients is the experiences. How can you make it a different experience?
Yeah.
You know, so the family dinner, like one of my clients, you know, she gets so overwhelmed with having all her family over for dinner. Like there's so much to do. So I said, well, like, how can you make it a bit more fun? You know, and she loves to dress up and stuff. So we themed the dinners, you know, so last week she had this Mexican night where she invited everyone to come over with their Mexican hats. And she was so excited about the whole event that the getting ready for it was like fun for her then, because she became like this, you know, entertainer of like the party. So I think it's just, like, you know, it is just making these little shifts about how we can add something in that, you know, brings us so much joy. And for me, like my podcast only came about because I loved how much I loved listening to podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I would walk down the street and I would just be like walking my dog and I was listening. This is when like podcasts first came out, and I would just be so jolly. I loved it. You know, these people chatting to me in my ear, learning all this stuff. And then I thought, oh my God, I want to do a podcast. Like it sounds fun. I want to experiment with this, you know, and then I just tried it.
Yeah. And now you have more people listening to that. Tell us the name of your podcast so that people can go and subscribe to it right now.
Yeah, it's called Get Happy Hour. So it's all about how we can bring more happiness and joy into our life. And I talk with different people. You're about to come onto the show, like you've been recorded, but next episode will be yours, and so I'll share that with you. Awesome. But just about how individuals all around the world do bring in more joy and happiness into our lives. So that's like one of my toolkits. I've got so many. I've got like 12 little things that we can add in, but you know, gratitude is such a big part of the happiness puzzle. You know, really? Finding those moments in our day to be grateful, to stop and to actually notice it. You know, like how often we just, you know, get in the car, we get on our way and we don't even notice that there's like, you know, these beautiful flowers in the garden, or that the neighbor behind you was like trying to wave to you, but you were too rushed to get to work, or, you know, so taking those moments you don't have to document it. Like I'm a big documenter, but I think it's just taking the moments to just say, thank you, you know, thank you.
Yeah. I'm a very dedicated gratitude list maker too. And one of the things we do at the dinner table in this house is everybody shares something that they loved about today. Like, what did you love about today? And then whoever answered has to ask the next person. So it's this fun little game. But what I noticed after we started doing it for a while is all day long, I would be looking for the thing I was going to share. And so it's like my whole day is suddenly this treasure hunt of what do I love about today? What do I love about today? And I'm looking for all these moments. And so I'm seeing the world through a totally different lens. Just because I know at dinner time somebody's going to ask me that question, I'm going to have to know what I loved about today, or just like,
Exactly.
yeah,
And you're conscious. You're conscious throughout your day because you are looking for those things.
yeah.
Where most of us, we're running on that autopilot so often that we don't take the notice. So I'm much the same. Like when I first started writing down my gratitude journal every day, I would look for those 10 things. Like, what am I going to write about today? And so I think that that's practice really helps us, and
totally
just taking a moment to
pathway.
Totally. And just taking that moment to say thank you to people. Like I always watch, at the coffee shop, how many people just pick up their takeaway and then just walk away. I'm like, what happened to the thank you?
Yeah.
Or like, and I always, I love to say thank you to my yoga students or whoever come to the class, because without them, my studio wouldn't be open.
Yeah.
So just taking that time to really mean the thank you that you're saying.
Totally. I like to say thank you to the coach after I'm leaving the gym from the workout too. It's like, you just had that whole experience and created that for me. So thank you. You facilitated that space. Yeah. I also just want to say, like, talking about gratitude and how that breeds happiness. I think a lot of people have it backwards in that you think when you're happy, then you'll be grateful. And it's actually a huge life hack to lead in with the gratitude, and that brings more joy. I've been, because I know there's probably people out there listening, like, life is really hard. There's a lot of struggle and suffering going on, a lot of grieving, a lot of things happening that are stressful and hard, and a lot of depression. And I've pulled myself personally out of some very deep depression simply by dedicating myself to a gratitude practice. And that's not just the writing down of 10 things. It's also taking one deep breath, really thinking about how grateful I am for that one thing on the list. And so really that could take as little as 5 minutes to write 10 things, take one deep breath about each thing. But I've had the experience where I started doing that, and then I was no longer depressed. And not only that, I was starting to be happier and happier as time went on. So it is a life hack. It is a huge one. And
totally.
Even if you don't write them down, like you said, if you're not a write them down kind of person, you're stuck in traffic, just start focusing on what things you can come up with in your head that you're grateful for. And that breeds a new neural pathway that then drives you down this happiness road in a bigger way.
Yeah, I love that thing. And thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
So many of my clients, and myself for that first part of my journey was, I'm going to be happy when, I'm going to be so happy when I get engaged. I'm going to be really happy when I buy my house and then I'm going to live on the beach. And then I'm going to be really happy when I get to go on my next trip. But the thing is, while we're all searching for these little bits of happiness, we're missing all the magic in every day. And there is magic in every day. I know sometimes it can be really hard to see that. But again, just taking that deep breath in, that deep breath out, like there's something. And I think this is the biggest message that I can give people is that, all these things that we strive for, they do bring us joy. They might bring us joy that day you walk into that house and you're like, oh my God, like this is my dream house. But are you still going to feel that joy 5 years later when you walk in there, unless you create that in your own experience?
Right.
So for my house, I've been living here for 9 years and I love it. I absolutely love it, but I've made it my house. It's like a beach house, and people always say, oh, you live right near the beach. And I go, yeah, I love it. People come to this area to go on a holiday and I get to be on holiday all the time. So I create these, like, you've just got to find these ways to shift our mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's still good to strive, and I'm still very goal orientated. But is that goal really what's going to make you happy, or is it the feeling, is it the experience that goal is going to give you?
Right. And are you willing to feel that now on the way to it? Otherwise, we succumb to what this society has programmed us to do, which is never enough, always something else, greater, 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 and never appreciating what is happening right now. And it is a choice. I love that it even says that. I think it said that somewhere in your bio, but it is a choice to find a way to feel the joy today.
Totally.
Rather than
it's a conscious, I say this, it's a conscious choice. So every day, like we wake up, most people brush their teeth, they comb their hair. You need to make that choice to choose happiness today. What can you do to bring more joy, more love, more light into your day?
Yeah.
You know, is it to laugh out loud? Like, seriously, my neighbors must think I am off the Richter because I'm a 35-year-old who consistently listens to Spice Girls. Like, I love getting down with Wannabe, you know, so I've always got Wannabe going. So like there's these things that I just added into my day. Like you ring a friend and just say, do you want to have a laugh? Like, and literally, you know, those friends that you go back sometimes and you talk about memories, or, you know, I've got these girlfriends that I lived overseas with. And if I just feel like I'm in a bit of a funk, like I'll just give them a call and I say, hey, do you remember? And we just lose it, you know, because we had such good memories together. Another one of my hacks is like, find something funny to watch. You know, movies and TV, like there's so much out there now, and we have the choice at any time to be controlling what we watch. Unfortunately, a lot of us get sucked into, you know, some negative stuff and whatever. But entertainment is so valuable if you choose the right stuff. You know, like there's some really funny movies and there's some really funny shows. And I must say that like my favorite show is Gavin and Stacey. It's an English comedy. I've seen it a million times. So if I come home and I feel like I'm in a bit of a funk. That's what I call it, when I'm a bit like, oh, and, you know, I just put on something that I can laugh to. And it just feels amazing because as soon as you laugh, that you just shift it. Like it is like you are feeling like a whole better person.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like this is silly, but TikTok actually brings me a lot of silly joy because people are hilarious and brilliant and making such wonderful content on there. I mean, there's a lot of misses, but there's a lot of hits on TikTok of just funny things. And I find myself like laughing and crying and just like smiling for as long as I'm willing to be on that platform and watching stuff.
That's awesome.
Along those lines, though, which I loved about us recording your podcast, and that I'm assuming on every show that you do with a guest, you take a break to do a little laughter yoga, where the key to laughter yoga, for anybody who's not familiar with it, is you fake laugh until you're real laughing. And that it actually works that way, because fake laughing, your body doesn't know the difference. You're getting all the health benefits of laughter. And yet it starts to be so ridiculous that you're fake laughing that you actually start to crack yourself up and it becomes a real laugh. So anyone who's out there listening, if you're alone or if you're not alone and you're willing to be ridiculous, I highly recommend listening to Carla's podcast, but also just laughing, fake laughing by yourself or with someone else until it actually makes you laugh. And I've had one experience of going to laughter yoga and fake laughing the entire time for the whole hour. They give you all these different exercises to do that are all different versions of fake laughing. And then we lay down at the end for that Savasana experience. And I just started like busting up laughing to the point of like sobbing, crying, like a huge emotional release that came from laughing so hard that I actually needed a big cry. But
it's the best. It is the best. Like laughing is so good for it. Yeah. And even like what you were saying, like, yes, it is scientifically proven that even when we fake laugh. So I'm a big lover of this, but even smiling. So if I notice that I'm like in a bit of a funk or whatever, I just like, you can just start to smile, even if you fake smile. And then you just notice this shift in you because you feel like such an idiot that you just walking around smiling that you do actually start to feel better. See, you're smiling. Yeah. So like smile is contagious. Like just start walking around the street smiling at people. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing as like the power pose idea that if you hold a power pose, you're actually training your body to be in a different energetic state than when we're shoulders collapsed and hunched over a table or something. Yeah, they're actually training your body to be upright and whole and complete and happy. Pretty
and
cool
another thing, sorry, just one more thing I want to add. Like there's so much stuff I could talk about in my little toolkit, but I think it's really important to address who you hang around with. So, you know, like the energy of the people that you're surrounded with is who the energy you are going to be. Like reality is, we all know that with the top, you know, the 7 people or the 5 people we hang around with. Not so much their, like who they are, your family, whatever, but what's the energy that they bring to your life? You know, you've got those friends where you know that you're going to go meet up with them and you actually get excited because you know that it's going to be fun, that you're going to walk away feeling inspired and that they're going to like make you sing or make your heart sing, you know?
Yeah.
But then you also, I'm sure we've all got them, those people that, oh, really, do we have to go? Because we know that it's going to be like victim mentality or, you know, they drain you. So just be really picky and choosy with who you spend your time with because it's your time. And if you want to live the happy and joyful life, then you need to be stubborn with it because it's your number one job.
Yeah. Yeah. The top 5 influencers in your life are very much in your control, as far as who they are. And it's true, who you're around, if they're complaining all the time, it's likely that you're going to start feeling like that's normal, and that becomes your operating system. And if you hang out with people like Carla all the time, you're going to listen to a lot of Spice Girls and probably smile too much.
Look, to be fair, I am human. Like I have my days,
Yeah.
but and I'm like, I do have my funks, but I'm just so aware of what I need to do to get out of there. I'll go jump in the ocean. I'll do something to shift that energy, because it's normally just that state of energy change that you need.
Yeah.
And really practicing being a happy person. I say this to my clients all the time. Like, when you don't want to be that person that people go, oh my God, I don't want to go out with her. She always complains.
Right.
Like she's so negative. Oh my God. No one wants to be that person, but sometimes we are that person. So how can you not be that person? Like, what can you do to be that life that people want to hang around? Put some red lips on, have a smile, have a laugh, and be that person that people go, oh my God, she is the best energy, because you will feel so much better. And then you're doing something for someone else, and it's that ripple effect. Everyone will start to feel better.
Yeah, it's true. There's a ripple effect to it. And I want to acknowledge that it's okay to be where you are. It's okay to
totally
feel what you're feeling. And like you said, all of us have those days and times. But when you're going through the hard times, don't make that your home. Don't make that your normal. Make that something you're moving through, that you're processing, that you're willing to look at and be willing to make lemonade.
Thanks
One of my
for tuning
clients
into Tactical Magic.
she's a
To
lemonade
more,
maker, and that's just an identity she's taken on. Like shit hits the fan, and
sure
she
to take a
makes
second
it
and
work.
subscribe to the show.
She finds the golden thread
for
of
another
possibility
edition
through it. And I think that is something we could all just choose to be a lemonade maker. Life has lemons in it. Yes, of course it does. And I'm not going to be the one pissed off about how sour it is. I'm going to be the one turning that into lemonade. And like you said, people want to be around that energy, because most people don't have the awareness that they can even choose it. Most people have the programming that just says life is the way it is and you got to get through it and deal with it. And
life's hard. Like life, it doesn't have to be hard.
It doesn't.
Life is a journey. It does not have to be hard.
Yeah.
You've got those choices. Yeah, for sure. Totally. I love that.
Awesome. Well, I'm super grateful, Carla. I think this is a really important message, and that people should definitely go listen to your podcast. What are the other ways people can get a hold of you if they want to learn more?
I'm on all the social channels. So Instagram, Facebook, Carla Maree Simpson. I have my website, Carla Maree Simpson. Yeah, my podcast. I have my book out, Get Happy, Find Your Happy. And yeah, just, reach out to me, because I would love to have a laugh with you, have a smile, and, tell me what brings you joy.
Awesome. So go look up Carla Maree Simpson. We'll give her website in the show notes of this episode. And are there any you've dropped so many nuggets of wisdom. Are there any last words of wisdom you want to leave people with today?
Just really, for everyone to take the moment to ask themselves the hard questions. Because if you don't tell yourself that there's a few things in your life that maybe aren't bringing you joy, then you can't find space for the stuff that does. And it's hard to ask yourself if you're happy, or if you're happy in this situation, or, but you've only got one chance at life, and why not make it your best chance?
Yes. And that is a choice. Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show, Carla. It was super fun having you.
No, thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone. And don't forget, you can learn more at wildheartsriseup.com and check out our next workshop that's coming up, wildheartsriseup.com/events. And there's actually a new quiz. If any of you have been around for the Peace with Money program this past summer, there's a new quiz that you can learn your money mindset flavor and get a super fun recipe to go along with that. That's at wildheartsriseup.com/money quiz. And whatever happens, keep asking big questions and taking bold action, because you are here for a reason. Bye.